My name's Noel, I'm a psychotherapist. Welcome to my YouTube channel. To subscribe while you're here. If you're watching this on my website, enter your details into the Contact Us page and let me know that you want to be part of the email list, and I'll send you these blogs on a regular basis. No effort on your part. Short video today on using physical exercise to help your recovery from abuse and trauma. Trauma and abuse become very sort of all-encompassing, and one of the things that can happen is the impact upon our body and our relationship to our body can be profoundly damaged and disturbed, so that we can deal with some of the really difficult feelings that the abuse or the trauma brings up in us in a number of ways. Disassociation, which is how a trauma survivor can sort of disconnect from strong feelings, so literally go numb and not feel anything at all, or by numbing through other methods such as alcohol or drugs or food or sex, any of those types of activities and behaviours that people inappropriately used to sort of manage difficult feelings. We've all done it, I guess. Come home from work really stressed out and had a drink and we feel the relaxation. If you need that all the time, there's a real problem. Every now and then, if you're not an alcoholic, for example, having a drink is not going to be a problem, but if it becomes a habit to manage feelings in that way, then it's a real problem. It can be very difficult for somebody who's experienced trauma as a child or later on in life to get into a balanced relationship to their body and body feelings and body sensations. One of the healthier ways to do that, rather than using substances, for example, is to have a good exercise regime and rebalance your body through healthy physical exercise. But again, physical exercise can be misused by somebody to sort of manage feelings. I often, with depression and anxiety, will prescribe going to the gym to somebody, but we have to monitor that. We have to sort of make sure that it's used in a healthy manner. Same with people recovering from trauma. I will often encourage people to go to the gym, to get gym membership and to work out. It has lots of sort of benefits, like hormonal benefits. For example, some of the hormones produced by trauma, the fight-flight hormones, actually need us to do physical exercise to get rid of them. So cortisol, for example, will build up in your muscle system, because it's literally designed for either some sort of explosive physical action, like running away really fast, or fighting a threat with your fists or a weapon or something. So actually, if you've had a lot of trauma, going to the gym and working out, doing sort of high intensity training for a short period of time will really help rebalance those cortisol levels and reduce your trauma symptoms over time. But again, it can become sort of used as a way of inappropriately managing feelings. The best way to manage feelings is with another human being, to share what's going on. Sometimes we can't, and it's difficult. Sometimes because our relationship between what our felt sense of stuff and our perception of threat, which is what trauma does, will numb us out in some way, and we can't get in touch with those feelings. But I just want to underline that we're social animals, really, and we need to be communicating with each other when we have difficult feelings. There's a healthy way of managing those feelings. But coming to the gym itself, like I say, it can have a very sort of profoundly positive physical impact and emotional impact as well. But here's a few tips if you do go to the gym to sort of help you with your trauma recovery program. Is be very thoughtful about how many times you go to the gym. You really don't need to be going 7 days a week, okay? 3 or 4 times a week is more than enough for anybody, unless you're planning to get involved in some sort of major sort of show, for example. I know my personal trainer goes on competitions, for example, and then he may well train 7 days a week for a certain period of time, but he's very thoughtful and careful about that, and he is an expert around that stuff, and he manages not to damage himself. For you or I, 3 or 4 times a week is more than enough to be going to the gym. think about when you go to the gym, whether it's one of those days where you really need to be pushing yourself hard, or you just need to be going to have a good workout, build up a sweat, maybe 20 minutes without really overworking yourself there, so that you develop those days in which you're working out and you're still getting the benefit from it, but you're not pushing yourself. You're actually being compassionate with yourself. And for a lot of trauma survivors, learning self-compassion is really important. So learning to be compassionate in the way that you manage your recovery from the trauma by going to the gym and having those days where you're not going to really smash it is a really important skill. Think about how many times per day you go. Do you really need to be going 2 or 3 times a day? Generally once is enough. If you go once, you're not going to go again. If you feel that you need to go again during the day, maybe you need to use one of your other recovery tools, reaching out to somebody, making a phone call to a friend, maybe going to see something, maybe having a relaxing bath, maybe arranging a massage or something like that. So that you can use your alternatives. So if you've already been, that's enough. You don't need to go again today. And then also think about other forms of exercise that may be useful as well. So not just going to the gym and working out, but cycling could be useful for you. Going for a walk in a park, particularly in a park, will be very helpful for recovery from trauma. Maybe taking up some yoga or some other calisthenic form of exercise, which isn't so demanding. I mean, yoga actually is quite hard work, but that sort of form, it's the opposite type of musculature. It's stretching your muscles rather than pulling them, which is what you do in the gym. And it's very sort of balanced with your breathing. It's very calm in comparison to the environment of a gym. So it can be very helpful, sort of yoga as a balancing exercise to use rather than going to the gym and sort of really pumping it and working out. I hope those are a few useful thoughts. And I want to underscore this, that physical exercise as part of recovery from mental health problems or trauma experiences or relational problems is very good. It's a very positive thing to do. But you need to be thoughtful about it and not become obsessive about it, and not be getting into a point where you're using it so much that you're causing yourself physical damage through injury or repetitive strain, etc. But I really want to underscore this message. Get out and do more exercise. Everybody needs to be doing more exercise on the whole. So hope you found that useful. Do contact me if you had problems with trauma or relationships or addiction or codependency, and you feel like you need some professional help around those things. My number's 07 506 319 745. That's 07 506 319 745. Thanks for being here today, and Drew, come back another time. Bye bye.